Because I'm hearing like, yeah, they don't give us, if y'all don't give us what we want, like, we sitting out.
That's a possibility.
I guarantee you, the intelligent folks, and there are plenty in the WNBA, are saying, will you two idiots just shut up? Sit out.
Girl, y'all benefited from everything. Y'all youngins benefited from NIL.
What does that mean? We deserve more.
You lost 40, 50 million. You know who would clap for you all sitting out? The NBA. So they don't have to subsidize your dumbasses to the tune of 40 to 50 million a year.
Angel Reese just made the most laughable demand in WNBA history. She's out here missing layups, struggling in games, fighting opponents, and still thinks she deserves NBA-level money?
Angel Reese wants credit. The reason why WNBA is up is because of Angel Reese. She's not getting enough credit. She did this too. She taunted Caitlin Clark. She made this whole thing.
Not only that, but she had the nerve to threaten a lockout if the league doesn't give her what she wants.
She just threatened a lockout. If y'all don't give us what we want, we sitting out. This is why sometimes you probably should have somebody look over a podcast. She's threatening to go on strike. I actually understand it's the way negotiations work in the CBA, not on a podcast.
This is pure entitlement at its finest. And today, we're going to break down exactly why Angel Reese is wrong, how she's hurting the WNBA, and why nobody would even care if she actually sat out.
Stupid, arrogance, entitlement, racism, sexism will fly. I
don't like Angel Reese. She's just bad news. She's just an angry feminist. She may marry Brittany Griner at some point. Who knows? I find Angel Reese completely unlikable.
Get ready, because we're exposing the delusion behind Angel Reese's latest meltdown. Angel Reese wants NBA-level money, yet she can't even make a layup consistently in the WNBA.
And isn't she shooting like 35% from the field? Can somebody tell me who in the world watches a 35% shooter from the paint that is basically grabbing her own rebounds from her own missed shots?
Let's talk about her on-court failures first, because if you're demanding a pay raise, you should at least be performing at a high level, right? Well, that's not the case with Reese. In her recent games, she has been bricking shots left and right, struggling with finishing at the rim and putting up inefficient numbers.
But that didn't stop WNBA players and head morons, head haters, head racists, head sexists, Angel Reese and her sidekick, Dejanay Carrington, from going on a podcast. And when these two go on a podcast, you know what's going to happen. You got a duck from, ooh, they're more stupid. I guarantee you, those women, the intelligent ones, the one that have a brain, the one that are actually going to sit down and do this, are saying to Angel Reese, shut up, take off your clothes, show your ass, talk about how Hollywood stars want to date you, and move it along. Let us handle this. And you just keep being stupid and work on your layups.
One look at her field goal percentage tells you everything. You can't be shooting in the mid-30s as a post player and expect to be taken seriously. Even her own fans have noticed how she pads her rebounding stats by constantly missing her own shots.
I love how y'all have selective hearing. I said I'm hearing if they don't give us what we want, we sitting out. And that's the truth. Good.
This is the same person that literally said she didn't know what her WNBA salary was and that it didn't even cover her rent. Angel Reese makes at least $5 million a year.
Instead of dominating the game, she spends more time fighting opponents, stirring up controversy, and humiliating players she doesn't like. And let's not forget her behavior on the court. She has a track record of unnecessary fights, trash-talking players, and trying to bully opponents. Not through skill, but through arrogance.
Like if I'm an NBA owner, I didn't get rich by wasting a couple million on something that has no chance of making money. These two, sit out, see what happens. Now, I would miss watching the Fever. I would miss watching Caitlin Clark, but I wouldn't miss anything else.
Her history of taunting Caitlin Clark, instigating drama, and acting like a victim when things don't go her way has made her one of the most controversial players in the WNBA. But despite all of this, she still thinks she is one of the reasons the league is growing and deserves a bigger paycheck.
If Angel Reese came into the league without Caitlin Clark, nobody would know who Dejanay Carrington was, her sidekick, or no one would know who Angel Reese is.
Here's the truth. Angel Reese isn't carrying the league. She's not even close. The WNBA's sudden surge in popularity has nothing to do with her and everything to do with Caitlin Clark. The attendance numbers prove it.
You know, you'd actually, if you really want to go into business, you need to pay some money back. You made absolutely nothing. You haven't really enhanced the league. Caitlin Clark has.
We have to be completely honest about this, whether we like it or not. 90% of this revived or renewed interest is really based around one singular player.
Games that don't feature Caitlin Clark struggle to attract big crowds, while Clark's presence single-handedly boosts ratings and ticket sales. Yet Reese has the audacity to claim she is just as important. That's pure delusion.
If I was funding this league, I'd say, all right, hold on. You got a golden goose. We all got one in Caitlin Clark. These people that are criticizing Caitlin Clark, these people that are hitting Caitlin Clark, these people that are talking as if they are as important as Caitlin Clark are hurting our opportunity. They're hurting the brand.
To make things even worse, she has now taken it a step further by threatening a lockout if the WNBA doesn't give her and her peers a massive raise. But why should the league pay her more when she's not delivering on the court? Why should owners invest more money in a player who can't even dominate in a struggling league? Reese is acting like she's an MVP caliber player, when in reality she has a long way to go before she can even be considered one of the best in the league.
I mean, you want to grow the game? All right, grow the game. All I'm saying is if you want to play with in the big leagues, if you want to be somebody that transcends the game, you got to have a personality. I will give Angel Reese this. She has a personality. It's ignorance. It's stupid. I mean, it's really stupid.
This is nothing more than a case of overconfidence mixed with entitlement. Angel Reese believes she is a star because of the social media hype around her, but hype doesn't translate into real value for a league.
Instead, people are saying, look, morons, you're just morons. And the more you talk, the dumber you sound. I hate to say it.
If she really wants to get paid more, she should focus on improving her game, making an impact, and proving her worth on the court, not whining about salaries and starting unnecessary drama. And guess what? If she and players like Dejanai Carrington actually sit out, nobody will miss them.
I will continue to use my voice to speak for what we want and deserve as a league. Thank you. No, that's not what you did. You said me, I. They're going to get more than us. I deserve more, blah, blah, blah. Oh, shut up.
The WNBA would keep growing because the true star power lies with Caitlin Clark and a few other legitimate talents. Reese, on the other hand, would just be another forgettable player who talked too much and delivered too little.
I guarantee you, people that are actually going to be at the negotiating table are saying right now this word. Will you shut up?
Up next, we're breaking down why Angel Reese's argument for more money makes absolutely no sense and how the WNBA's business model proves she is completely clueless about how the league actually works. Stay tuned. Angel Reese and Dejanai Carrington are out here acting like the WNBA is some billion-dollar empire, but the cold, hard truth is that the league is still financially dependent on the NBA just to survive. These players talk about wanting NBA-level money, but they don't even seem to understand how their own league operates.
And I have a suggestion for you. Don't sit out. You have a real opportunity right now. The only time, think about it, baseball is going to go away on ESPN. ESPN is pushing women's sports like never before. Instead of having every single person with a reasonable mind say, look, morons, nobody's going to miss you. This is your time. Take advantage of it.
First, let's break down why the WNBA cannot afford massive salary increases. Unlike the NBA, which generates billions in revenue from TV deals, ticket sales, sponsorships, and merchandise, the WNBA is still operating at a loss. The league does not turn a profit and is heavily subsidized by the NBA just to stay afloat. The NBA reportedly pours around $40 to $50 million per year into the WNBA just to keep the lights on.
Tell these idiots to shut up, stand down, because their threats are meaningless to the average viewer. Meaningless.
So when Angel Reese and her friends start demanding pay raises, where exactly do they think this extra money is coming from? And let's not forget, these WNBA players already make more money than their league actually earns. That's right. The average WNBA salary is a much larger percentage of league revenue compared to NBA salaries. NBA players take home about 50% of total league revenue, but in the WNBA, players take home over 20% more than that, meaning they are actually getting a much better deal than their league's financial situation justifies.
Beats the hell out of watching Angel Reese miss free throws and layups and throw the ball off the underneath of the backboard and not know the rules. Stop it, stupid.
But here's where Angel Reese really exposes her ignorance. She went on a podcast and complained about how the next generation of WNBA rookies will be making more than her because of a new collective bargaining agreement, CBA. She acted like this was some great injustice, completely ignoring the fact that every league in the world sees salary increases over time as their revenue grows. That's just how sports economics work. Instead of focusing on earning her next big contract through skill and performance, she's whining about players in the future possibly making more than her, which, by the way, is not guaranteed. And let's address the biggest lie that Angel Reese keeps pushing, the idea that she's one of the reasons the WNBA is growing.
There's no accountability for black female feminists. They can say anything, and if you criticize it, you're racist. Period. End of story.
The reality? She is not the reason for the WNBA's success. Caitlin Clark is. The numbers don't lie. The WNBA's biggest ratings and ticket sales this season have all been because of Caitlin Clark. In fact, the only games that consistently sell out are Indiana Fever games, and we all know why. It's because Caitlin Clark is on that team. Meanwhile, Angel Reese's games don't generate anywhere near the same level of interest. Fans are not lining up to watch Reese miss layups and pick fights. The league is being carried by a few marketable stars, and Reese is not one of them.
Dejanay Carrington, you wouldn't even know who she was if she didn't try to beat up Caitlin Clark in a game. You wouldn't even know, but these two clowns got together as the dumbest people in sports and saying, wait for it, they need more money, threatening to hold out if they don't get what they want.
Yet she still believes she's entitled to more money just because she's a loud voice in the room. But sports salaries are based on market value, not entitlement. If the WNBA were a profitable billion-dollar league, sure, players could ask for higher salaries. But when the league is still struggling financially and when Reese herself isn't even a top player, why should she get more money? And let's be real, if Angel Reese and Dejanay Carrington actually sit out, that's just more money the league can save instead of wasting it on players who bring more drama than talent.
I think Angel's more concerned about being an influencer, content creator, over being a better basketball player. This was her taking pictures, hanging out with some rappers and producers, etc.
You think you could get a bucket in this format, full court 3-on-3?
You don't think I can get a bucket?
Yeah.
If Angel Reese on my team, yeah.
Hell yeah.
In fact, WNBA owners would probably be thrilled if players like Reese stepped away, because that would mean they wouldn't have to keep subsidizing mediocrity. At the end of the day, Reese's entitlement and lack of awareness are putting her in a bad position. She thinks she's strong-arming the WNBA into a pay raise, but in reality, she's just exposing herself as someone who doesn't understand how the business of sports works. If she and her peers actually follow through with their threat to sit out, the WNBA won't collapse. It will continue growing without them. Coming up next, we're breaking down why Angel Reese's public meltdown and threats are actually making her look worse, not better, and how she's hurting her own future in the league.
Would anybody notice? Here's these two fools.
Yeah, the CBA is coming up. I can't wait.
Girl, y'all benefited from everything. Y'all youngins benefited from NIL.
What does that mean? We deserve more.
Of course,
Everybody.
I agree.
Everybody.
I agree with that.
But we got to face the consequences.
What?
Damn, we got to get it up.
Y'all gotta
like
deal
y'all.
with something. Y'all gotta do something.
But the women coming in, not this year, but next year, or because the ones coming this year will still be on the rookie contract again.
Mm-hmm.
The ones that the year after, they gonna get more. They probably gonna be making more than us.
No, they are.
I'm hurt.
They are. Like, yeah. I've been in the meetings. They are.
I need to get in the. I need to get in the field.
You need to come to the
I
meeting.
gotta get in the meetings because I'm hearing like, yeah, they don't give us. If y'all don't give us what we want, like, we sit out.
That's a possibility for real.
Yeah.
It was.
Stay tuned. At this point, Angel Reese is doing more damage to her own career than anyone else ever could. Instead of proving herself as a valuable player in the WNBA, she's running her mouth, making demands that no one takes seriously, and threatening to sit out, as if that would hurt the league. But in reality, her absence wouldn't change a thing. Let's be honest, Angel Reese is replaceable. She's not an MVP caliber player. She's not a dominant scorer. She's not even a reliable presence on the court. She's a below-average shooter who constantly misses layups, fights opponents, and brings unnecessary drama to the game. So if she were to sit out, what exactly would the WNBA lose? Nothing. Angel Reese and Dejanai Carrington made a big scene on their podcast, saying, if y'all don't give us what we want, we sitting out. But here's the question. Who would even care? This isn't the NBA, where a star player sitting out can shake up the entire league. In the WNBA, players like Reese sitting out would barely make a dent.
Angel Reese is never going to improve her basketball skills. Check this out.
I see you miss layups just like they do and everything, but forget them. I mean, I miss layups too. So, I mean,
everybody miss layups, but they can't get mad if I get the rebound. Box me out.
Yeah. Don't be mad because your fade didn't box her out. That's what I say. Period.
I see your miss layups like they do, but forget them. What the fuck do you mean forget them? This is why Angel Reese's game is never going to get better, y'all. Her mom telling her this and her fans are the same exact way. Zero accountability, bro. Imagine this, y'all. You playing basketball in front of the whole world. People have been constantly criticizing your game and you messing up on the court. There's all this film and everything about what you need to do better and what you're messing up on. And your mom is just sitting here telling you, well, forget them. Just forget them, bro. Like, that's terrible advice. Like we see why Angel Reese is the way that she is. Man, look at how her mom is just talking to her, telling her just forget them, bro. But then y'all are so mad that the world doesn't like her and talk so much shit about her, bro.
Right.
And then she's like, oh, everybody misses layups. I'm so tired of this everybody misses layups thing. Yes. A whole bunch of basketball players miss layups, but people are not missing layups like Angel Reese, bro.
Fact.
Statistically the worst finisher in the league. So that means you're last and at the bottom. So that means you're the worst and nobody is missing like you are. God, this is not rocket science. Angel Reese GPA holders, bro. This is not rocket science, man. This is amazing. Y'all just cannot keep it real with this girl, bro. That's why she looks like an unrivaled. That clip that just came out with her getting blocked by Breanna Stewart like 3 times or something, and then she finally made this shot, bro. That's why her game looks like it is not even improved at all, man. And then the whole, you gotta box me out to get the, bro, you should be making the shot, bro. Instead of sitting up here talking about, oh, people aren't boxing you out and all of this bullshit. Like, if you make the shot, bro, we wouldn't be even sitting up here talking about these whole rebounds and over and that bullshit, man. But it's crazy, bro. It's crazy I came across that clip. I just saw somebody post it today, and I'm like, damn, bro. No wonder this girl does not take accountability.
In fact, owners might actually welcome it. The WNBA is already struggling financially, and with players demanding more money than the league can afford, having a few of them step away could actually help the league save money. If the WNBA had to choose between investing in real stars like Caitlin Clark and Aja Wilson or throwing money at players who bring more controversy than talent, the choice is obvious. There's a reason why top athletes are careful with their words. They understand that how you present yourself matters, not just in the game, but in business, endorsements, and public perception. But Angel Reese? She's out here leaking CBA negotiation details on a podcast, running her mouth about salary increases and making empty threats that weaken her position in the league. Even her own WNBA peers must be shaking their heads at her right now. The serious, intelligent players who actually understand business know that negotiations are handled professionally, behind closed doors, not on a public podcast. By running her mouth, Reese isn't helping anyone. She's making herself look clueless and giving WNBA owners even more reason not to take her seriously.
Angel Reese is the most unskilled basketball player in the history of basketball, in my opinion. She has no skills. She knows that she's not a very good basketball player. That's why she spends so much time half naked and taking pictures and promoting things that have nothing to do with basketball.
This is Angel Reese, the content creator side. It's pretty clear basketball is her top priority. I cannot imagine how anybody could view this athlete in any other way. It's clear basketball is front and foremost. This is all helping with things like shooting better from the field and missing layups. She has no rhythm, just like she can't make a layup. Practice layups. OnlyFans incoming.
The WNBA is finally seeing some growth, but not because of Angel Reese. It's because of Caitlin Clark, who has brought in record-breaking ratings and new fans to a league that has struggled for years. The last thing the WNBA needs is someone like Reese dragging the league down with unnecessary drama. Instead of helping build the sport, Reese and Carrington are out here acting like they are the reason for the WNBA's success, when the reality is that they are making things worse. Instead of talking about improving her game, Reese is talking about holding out for more money. Instead of focusing on basketball, she's busy creating controversy. Instead of making herself more marketable, she's making herself less valuable by being a constant problem.
I cannot believe this is actually a clip that somebody put out to try to make her look good. This makes her look terrible. I'm shocked. That was pathetic. And then finally, she makes the layup. We're celebrating that? Really? Taller than hell out there. Can't hit a layup. Get in the lab, shoot 200 layups a day, every single 365 days. Is there anybody else in the WNBA or NBA that does this more than Reese? From tonight's game, third quarter, in 16 seconds, Reese took 4 shots, missed the first 3 shots, got an offensive rebound off her own 3 misses, and then finally made the 4th. But, quote, double-double. This looks just like Chicago Sky shit from last year. This dude's a white dude. He's getting called a racist over basketball criticism.
Let's be real. Angel Reese's time in the spotlight is temporary. The only reason she is even relevant right now is because she positioned herself as a rival to Caitlin Clark. But rivalries only last as long as both players are equal in talent, and Reese is nowhere near Clark's level. If she continues down this path, playing poorly, causing drama, and making ridiculous demands, she's going to become just another forgettable WNBA player. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark, A'ja Wilson, and other legitimate stars will continue to grow the game, attract fans, and make real money. And here's the biggest irony. Reese's best chance at getting a better contract in the future is for the WNBA to grow. But by threatening a lockout, stirring up controversy, and creating division in the league, she's slowing down the very progress that could actually benefit her. At the end of the day, Angel Reese is her own worst enemy. Her entitlement, arrogance, and lack of self-awareness are destroying her credibility, hurting her career, and proving that she is not ready to be taken seriously as a professional athlete.
You got to see this clip. Runs down court with the basketball, 3-4 steps ahead of everybody, has an easy layup, and throws it to the girl behind her. No skills.
So Lexi Hall's right here, right? She's going to come out here. She gets the ball, going to pass it into Angel. Look at this, folks. That's Lexi Hall. Wide ass open. Does she get the ball? Angel not only did not pass the ball back out to Lexi Hall, but she missed another freaking layups.
Up next, we wrap this up with the final reality check. Why Angel Reese's threats won't work, why the WNBA will move on without her, and why she's sealing her own fate with every word she speaks. Stay tuned. Angel Reese can whine, complain, and threaten to sit out all she wants, but at the end of the day, the WNBA will move on without her. And nobody will care. She's not the reason for the league's growth. She's not the face of women's basketball, and she's definitely not worth NBA money when she can't even perform at an elite level. Her terrible shooting, constant drama, and entitled attitude are doing nothing but hurting her own career. Instead of making herself more valuable, she's making herself easier to ignore. If she really wants more money, Maybe she should start by hitting her shots, staying out of unnecessary fights, and actually helping the WNBA grow, instead of tearing it down with childish demands. At this rate, Angel Reese is setting herself up to be just another forgotten name in WNBA history, while the real stars, the players who actually deliver on the court, continue to thrive. So go ahead, Angel, sit out, see if anyone notices. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Do you think Angel Reese is hurting the WNBA with her ridiculous demands, or is she just another loud voice with no real impact? Hit that like button, subscribe for more, and I'll see you in the next one.
People thought there was great momentum. People thought Angel Reese could draw. No, nobody wants to watch Angel Reese. Come on.
We know that the WNBA numbers with her and versus the numbers in the WNBA without her also have a major gap. And this really makes us realize the power of Caitlin Clark, the appeal of Caitlin Clark.